What if the saints aren't dead? Here's a theory that is probably going to make both Catholics and Protestants mad. What if one of the greatest deceptions surrounding the saints isn't convincing us that they're dead, because Revelation describes something very different? I grew up Catholic, and I was taught about praying to the saints and asking them to intercede for us. Now, Catholics will tell you we don't worship the saints. We ask for intercession. Fair enough. But here's the question I can't get past. Why do we keep calling them dead? Because Yahusha said in Luke chapter 20, verse 38, "For he is not a God of the dead, but of the living, for all live unto him." Read that again. Not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. So what if the saints who died in Messiah aren't lying unconscious in graves waiting for some future event to happen? Because Revelation chapter 20 says in verse 4, "And they lived and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years." They lived, they reigned with the Messiah. And Revelation doesn't stop there. Revelation chapter 20, verse 6, "They shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years." So scripture doesn't simply describe these saints as dead. It describes them as reigning. And this is where my Satan's little season theory gets controversial. Revelation says after the 1,000 years, Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 through 8, Satan is released and goes out to deceive the nations. And then where does he lead those deceived nations? Keep reading. Revelation 20, verse 9, "They went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints." The camp of the saints? If the millennium already happened and we're living during Satan's little season, then I've started asking a completely different question. What if the saints aren't waiting to reign? What if they already reigned with Yahusha? And what if the camp of the saints is something far more literal than we've been taught? Now connect that with Revelation chapter 5, verse 10. "And Yast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth." Notice that, on the earth. And Revelation 20 describes the nations physically going across the earth and surrounding the camp of the saints. So where is it? This is where I'm going beyond that scripture explicitly tells us. This part is my theory. I've been investigating whether the camp of the saints could be connected to the mysterious north. Why? Because scripture repeatedly gives the north fascinating significance. Psalms 48:2, "Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north." And Isaiah says in Isaiah 14:13, "I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north." The sides of the north. Now, I'm not saying Psalms 48 proves there's a hidden civilization of saints somewhere in the Arctic. It doesn't. I'm connecting passages and asking a question. But imagine the deception if the millennium already happened. Imagine if Satan was released afterward to deceive the nations. Wouldn't one of the greatest deceptions be convincing humanity that Messiah's saints are simply dead and gone? When scripture says they lived and reigned with him. So maybe the question isn't why do Catholics pray to dead saints? Maybe the deeper question is who told us the saints are dead? Yahusha said Yah is the God of the living. Revelation says the saints lived and reigned. Revelation describes a camp of the saints, and Satan's final deception ends with the nations surrounding the camp. So I'm asking, where is the camp of the saints? And could the world have been deceived about what happened to the Messiah's kingdom? Don't take my theory as scripture. Read the scripture for yourself. Luke 20:38, Revelation 5:10, Revelation 20 verses 4 through 9, Psalms 48:2, Isaiah 14:13. Then tell me, are the saints dead, or have we been looking for them in the wrong place?